We can't call the meeting to order, so Ryan's ready. You ready? We'll call the meeting to order for the Common Council. Monday, July 1st, 2024. Roll call, please.
Councilmember Coffey.
Here.
Councilmember Olson.
Here.
Councilmember Sharkey. Councilmember Rowe.
Here.
Councilmember McDermott.
Here. Welcome to the 4th of July week already. Can you believe it? July 3rd, we got music Americana down at the First Center to kick off our community celebration. And I had a long talk with Mac today. She guarantees me it will not rain on July 4th. So no pressure for Mac today. But July 4th parade starts at 11 o'clock. Hope for no rain. And then we got an all-day affair in the park starting at noon. Matt's going to be giving away hot dogs. We can't wait. We got music. We got fireworks. We got games for the kids. So make sure everybody comes out. Let's do the request for approval of the June 7th minutes, please.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Unfinished business, ordinance number 1757, 2024, an ordinance amending the Angola Municipal Code, Chapter 8.05, solid waste, 1775. Second reading.
Move to approve.
Second. Motion and second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? A little bit of a misprint on the agenda this evening. The next ordinance we need or would like to have with the council's approval, second and third reading. We already did first reading. Is ordinance number 1758, 2024, an ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Angola, Indiana, the Tryon Woodhull edition for second reading.
Move to approve. Second.
Motion second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Third reading, an ordinance amending the zoning map of the city of Angola, Indiana, Tryon Woodhull edition. Third reading. Motion?
Second.
Second. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Do we have any other unfinished business this evening? Hearing none, let's move on to new business. Ordinance number 1759, 2024, an ordinance fixing compensation appointed officers, deputies, and other employees of the city and of the police and firefighters of the city of Angola, Indiana for the year 2025. Before we do a motion, let me kind of walk you through some of the math and some of the things that we have done differently on this ordinance. We'll start with some of the numbers. I've always felt that our pay scale was too compact, too compressed, and we needed more incentive for the people coming up through the ranks to take on the leadership roles in those positions. And part of that is compensation. So this year, and I've made it known as we went into this year that was one thing that I wanted to do. So that's what I had done. The police and fire chiefs, both I would like to increase them 7% or 9% over 2024. The assistant police chief, 8%. Our IT administrator, our water superintendent, wastewater superintendent, battalion fire chief, 5%. All others are at 3.5%. And we compared that to the CPI of 3.3 and verified that we should not see any increase in our medical costs. So they should get a true pay raise. Next year, all employees should get a true pay raise. So that's how those numbers were derived. We also are making some adjustments in our part-time positions. Most of them we've rounded up to a near $1. There's a couple others, but they're just the part-time. They're not the full-time employees, but we have given our part-time people an adjustment also. To give the council a little briefing on where we are with our workforce, we have 87 authorized full-time positions right now. One of the things that we will be doing is we're going to move our project coordinator, was formerly in our planning and economic development office. I feel, and we feel, it fits better in the engineering department. It's more of a nuts and bolts position. They work more with the mechanical systems of development, and planning is more of a land use issue. So we're moving that position to the engineering department. But we have that position has been unfilled, and for the time being, I'd like to keep it unfilled. I'm kind of a wait and see what the economy does going forward. We're starting to see a little bit of weakness and a little bit of slowdown in building and development. So I'm not in a hurry to fill that position. I've kept that position vacant by design, but I am optimistic that we will need to do it. Our people are very thinly stretched right now. We are getting close to the edge of productivity and what these people can do with the workload they have. But moving forward in the short term, I'm not necessarily in a hurry to fill that position. We're changing a part-time street employee. He's a part-time clerk for us to a full-time position, full-time clerk and maintenance. He's going to do both for us, or that person's going to do both for us. So we're combining those and we're taking it from a part-time to a full-time position. We have 5 openings at City Hall right now. The administrative assistant to the mayor has been open. We do need to fill that position. We are interviewing to fill that position. We hope to have something in place within the next couple of weeks. We have 1 police officer that right now that we need. We have an opening in the police department. We had a couple of applicants. It didn't pan out real well, so we have reopened applications again, and we will be searching again for another police officer to fill that position. We have 1 opening in the wastewater plant. We do have somebody that we will be onboarding soon within the next couple of weeks to fill that particular position. The project coordinator, as I said, is open, and for the short term, I intend to leave that position open. And we have just learned that we will be having an opening real soon in our water department that will need to be filled. But very briefly and quickly, there is a synopsis of our workforce. Now we will entertain your action on ordinance number 1759, 2024.
Move to approve. I'll second for discussion.
We have a motion, a second, and discussion.
I have a question, if I may. This is my newness, I guess. In the columns that are here, there's a number and then a 25. Is this what it works out to be hourly, or is this a minimum pay if they're new employees? Can you explain that for me?
Please.
So when we set the compensation and the salary ordinance, we do a range. So when a new employee is hired in, they would probably be at the closer to the bottom of the range, and then they would work up at the top of it for the more experienced senior employees.
So from my understanding, the right-hand column, anybody that's been here, that's what their pay is going to be.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I assumed, but I wasn't certain. It didn't make sense when I tried to, the numbers didn't make sense to me. So I thought that might possibly be it.
We leave that entirely up to the discretion of the department head. The department heads are at the mayor's discretion. Most of our department heads are at the top scale. 2 of them are not. 2 of them, they're newly or more new to their position, have not made it to the top of the range. But it is a range of numbers. That we leave the most of those positions open to the department head to determine what he wants to pay, but that's the range they pay within.
And the other thing, you and I have discussed this before, Mr. Mayor, and I understand the position, and I don't have the authority to change this, but I still would like us to consider the fire chief's request concerning trying to get pay with some parity. And I understand that you're against that, but I want to be on the record that I'd like to see that happen in the future. And also, I'd like to see if we can't find some source of revenue that would help pay for those things. The fire chief and I discussed the fact that when he goes on these runs for EMT, although I know when I've had those calls, they're $1,200, $1,300, $1,500 for those calls. From what I figured, from what he told me, he gets $20 of that. Mm-hmm. And something there doesn't seem fair to me. And I'd like to see us work on something where if he's making those kind of runs and those kinds of calls, that we have some fair compensation, that we aren't financing something for another entity.
Well, ultimately, I think we're going to be better off for the fire territory. I think the fire chief agrees with that sentiment, that ultimately we'd be better off going that route, and we should continue to work on that. the language of them opposed to it, it might be a little bit on the strong side. I understand and I sympathize. Most of it, and a lot of it centers around the pension piece, and I understand that. If you look at the actual income, because of the way that longevity and overtime and all the other compensation piles in, the discrepancy between the actual take-home income is not all that high. It's about 10.8% if we took the firefighter to take it to parity with the police officer at the lower end of the schedule or the lower end of the pay range, which is where their pension's based. But if you look at the all-in costs and compensation, if you would correct that, you'd have, on the average, the fire department officers making slightly more than the police officers. I don't like the way the math works, and I don't like the way the pension is calculated. The whole issue is a matter of comparing apples to oranges. It doesn't work. The work requirements, the hours, the pay is all different.
I understand. I don't get to propose these things. It's a yes or no.
It's a very difficult comparison to make. And
If I could piggyback on his other question, though, the fact that we're only getting like $20.
I don't know. I
Whatever
may be
the run
misstating
is.
that, but that was what I remember. Is that right, Chief?
Which part are you talking about?
If you go for a run of the fees charged by the EMTs for Steuben County, it wasn't about $20 on average that you get in
Well,
reimbursement?
how that breaks down is the county commissioners allot them so much money for all the EMS runs in the county. And then depending on the amount of EMS runs you make, they distribute that total bank amongst all the departments in Steuben County. So depending on how many runs you have is going to determine how much money you get back in fees. I think last year we got about $20,000 back.
And when I did the math, that came out to
for
about
this year yet. It'll
$20.
be coming up pretty soon. So
the way we're doing emergency response throughout it's very haphazard. I don't like the way we've done it. I don't like the way the numbers come together. I think the chief would more than back me up saying that we've got to find a better long-term solution to this. And I really think that the territory is the place to start and then work on the EMS, the fire, the whole package together. So as a community, and I'm talking more than just the city of Angola, some of our townships, we need to be smarter with what we're doing.
Well, that's what I'm asking.
We're
We
being
consider
very
that in the
haphazard
future.
on who pays for what. We've got to get to a more equitable funding mechanism. And honestly, I think the territory is the only way to go.
Mr. Mayor, may I interject?
Please do.
Couple of concerns I have regarding the fire department is that, we're growing, and as we grow, we're going to need more service. And I think, if I remember correctly, we gained 2 firefighters in the last 22 years. And I have a fear that if we can't address the pension issue especially.
Yeah.
I know that the longevity pay was appreciated last year. But my fear is we may lose folks, and then training new folks. And, the fire department's done a great job of trying to do that with a high school program and other things to get people interested. But by the same token, I think we really need to look at that down the road.
I wouldn't argue that.
I might even suggest getting some people together with the county to look at something down the road that we could actually do.
I wouldn't argue that, but converse of that, our immediate need is,
Correct.
we haven't got police officers. We need to look at the big picture of the entire city. So we've got to look at the entire package. But yes, I agree. And as we go through the budgeting process this year, we can certainly revisit those things and understand where our priorities are and where our headcount issues are. Yes.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Dave?
No, they pretty much hit the marks now.
All right, you ready for the question? All those in favor signify by saying aye. All those opposed? Resolution number 2024-871, resolution of the Common Council of the City of Angola, Steuben County, Indiana, approving the reduction of assessed valuation for the installation of new manufacturing equipment all located within an economic revitalization area within the city of Angola, Indiana. Angola Wire, Isaac, the floor is yours.
Back. I apologize. Thankful actually, that council was able to table this, last time we were here. Always appreciate, Mayor, the introduction, and thank you, council, for the consideration. We have Angola back, Angola Wire, back for a request on the abatement. The significant change is making sure that we're pulling in pieces of the project that are actually going to fit within the timeline of the abatement. So you saw the previous paperwork that we presented. That's why I said I needed a table, because we were taking a look at the full project and making sure things were going to be committed on both parts, not only the city, but also the community, or excuse me, the company itself. So this request is based on 2.5 million of investment in personal property. Cobots and lasers are the big part of this, along with some highly technical and automated CNC machine. 5 new jobs are committed at the rate of $21 plus an hour. So the total abatement there fits within the sliding scale and previous abatements that I've recommended to the county, or excuse me, to the city. For a 5-year traditional sliding scale, first year being 100%, last year 5 being 50%. ROI on this project is at $30 range. Everything fits within scope.
I think, did you misspeak? Last year is what percent?
20%.
Okay.
Yep.
Like about,
I always say, you know, the hard questions go to the guests.
but I'd be happy to answer any questions.
We were fortunate to go visit Angola Wire here several months ago, and it was very impressive. I move we approve this resolution.
I would second.
Motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Thank you for being here, and thank you for coming back so quick. You kind of scared us a little bit as we're pulling back. Thank you for
We appreciate it.
rushing ahead. We appreciate all Angola Wire does to the community. You guys are great community citizens, and love to have you here.
Yeah.
Isaac, thank you. Yes.
When we were visiting, that one of Chris's advisors was talking about sidewalk safety. Have we done much to solve that? Do you remember that?
On Lower Street,
Right
no,
there.
we have not.
Can we-
To be totally blunt and honest, we have residential areas that have more of my attention than that. They have a higher priority as far as I'm concerned. And we have started looking at some sidewalks that we not replacing some, yes, and we will be pressing forward.
Okay, thank you.
Mayor, if I could have one more minute.
Certainly.
I attended this morning in Kendallville. Noble County EDC was hosting an event with Nexus. Nexus, if you're familiar with them, do a lot of municipality work, particularly around the tax abatement and the TIF conversations. I was excited to hear not a lot that I didn't already know about the TIFs, or TIFs and tax abatements, but I had a lot of people asking us questions of how we're doing it and why we're doing it right. So I share that with the city council in the sense that it's refreshing to go to those meetings and have individuals across the state ask us questions rather than the opposite. So
The city is putting priority, Angola is putting priority on that. Aretha is very heavily involved, and I'm not going to put her on the spot and have her explain what she's doing, but she is digging into that and analyzing it from a business point of view of what we want to do and reevaluating some of the things we've done in the past. So
we got applause for the way the resolutions are written, with the caps and the minimums. We got applause for our personal property references in terms of their length and the duration. There's still an eligible piece in the code that offers from personal property out to 20 years. And I don't know why that would exist, considering depreciation is a lot faster than that, but still an opportunity. But like I said, I think, I'm always refreshed going to those and being asked the questions rather than asking the question. So,
Thank you. Okay, request approval of proposal for survey and engineering design services for North Drive reconstruction projects with Rowan and Associate in the amount of $38,000. Wow, that's a strange number. There's an extra zero there, 38,600. This is for a community crossing project for next year. We're trying to do the engineering around for projects in 2025.
Move that we approve.
motion. Second, any discussion? Amanda, anything you want to add to that?
Not much. Anyone has any questions?
Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Presentation by Tracy with the Community Humane Shelter of Steuben County. Tracy, the floor is yours.
Thanks.
You didn't bring any kittens or dogs with you?
I would love to give each and every one of you 1 or 2 kittens free of charge. And you just let me know and we have them for you. So thank you for having me here today. My last visit was very successful. Because of that visit, Sergeant Burris has joined our board, has been a great member and a great contributor. So I'm hoping this visit is just as successful. But I'm here doing something that I'm more uncomfortable doing, and that is asking for financial support in an area of need for us. I don't know if you have seen our minivan around town occasionally. That minivan is from 2013 and has over 180,000 miles on it. The driver door does not work, so you need to climb in through the passenger door. And we spend quite a bit of money every time we have to take it in for an oil change for repairs. So we would really like to get a new van. I don't care so much about the looks, but I would like our staff and volunteers that drive that van to be safe. And as it is now, we cannot take that van outside of really Steuben County because like we could do adoption events in Fort Wayne or spay and neuters at other vet clinics outside of Steuben County that have offered their support. But I don't feel comfortable sending our staff in that van. So we really do need to get a new van. And I believe Adrian, our former director, had been here previously and had requested money. But then I think that kind of got lost and I'm not sure where that was and what the result of that request was. So I'm coming back to make a request again and to kind of give you an update. We did obtain a $10,000 grant from Petco in support of purchase of a new van. And we have talked to the Steuben County Board of Commissioners, which have some money from an ARPA fund, which they're willing to match whatever funds that we get. So I still have to go talk to them to verify this is all from last year and make sure everything is where it still stands. But I've been in contact with Commissioner Shelton, who feels pretty positive that that offer of matching funds still stands. So they would match that $10,000 fund. So currently I can say we have about $20,000 for a new to us minivan if we can find it. And as you know, well, maybe you don't know, but finding used vehicles right now is difficult. It's not as easy as it sounds. And what I've been told is a good new to us van is probably going to need to cost us in the range of $30,000 to $40,000. We're not looking for something brand new, but we're looking for something that we don't have to constantly get repaired and that we can feel comfortable sending our staff out. So I'm here making a request. I don't have a specific dollar amount because I know finances can be tough, but the county, I believe, will match whatever the city is able to give us. So it's kind of an open request.
Does it have to be a minivan? I understand, or a van. I understand the ease of getting in and out of a van and so forth, but an SUV like a Dodge Durango.
So we do occasionally have bigger kennels for our larger dogs that would need to go into it. So the kind of vehicle that we would need to fit a kennel with a larger dog. And the minivan allows us to transport several dogs. So for example, Hope down in Fort Wayne does low cost spay and neuters. And right now they're coming up to us and transporting, but last year they had cut back on their transports and we lost that service altogether. So if we had a bigger van where we could put more animals in, that would allow us to transport more.
So you're looking for a cargo van more than a minivan? Is that?
A minivan works for us. If a cargo van were available, we wouldn't turn that down, but that's not something we've had ease finding when we've kind of been doing our search.
Do you have any money, Tracy, in your budget? Is there any base budget that you have for any of that?
Yes, this is Ingrid Rosales. She is our treasurer.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Ingrid. I am a Trine alum. So I just graduated from Trine. But yes, so we do that 10,000, we actually set it aside. Petco gave it to us towards our area of greatest need. And we have actually set that money aside into a restricted fund to only use that 10K for the band.
That's all you have right now?
That's all we have right now. Yes, sir.
Like I said, we expect a match to that 10K from the county.
Will the county also match the total that we?
Yes, my understanding is when Adrian approached the county last year, they would match any funds we raised up to $20,000. So we have half of that.
And like Tracy said, if we were able to get another 10K with the county's 10K, that would be 30K right there. And we could probably try and find a good van within that price range.
Should be open to a donation, possibly.
Oh, absolutely. It would definitely be a donation. And then since we are technically under a 501c3 as well, it would also be deductible from tax returns for this.
I guess my question is a donation of a vehicle.
Oh,
Absolutely.
oh,
we would be open.
absolutely. Yes, and that. Yes, please.
Like that card.
Yeah.
No, we would definitely be open if there was a organization that was phasing out, changing their fleet of vehicles or something like that.
Yes,
We would
absolutely.
be open
I
to
think
that.
that would be good to get out to also the community, because
Oh, yes.
what good Samaritans we have, I know.
I know in the past, we have posted on our social media about that. Like I said, people are holding on to their cars longer.
Sure.
And it's just been more difficult to find something that really suits our needs.
Yeah, if you guys do have any organizations or any other clubs that are trying to get rid of a vehicle that is in good condition, let us know. It probably is better than the van we have right now.
You need to be safe.
Yes, our staff needs to be safe, our animals need to be safe.
And so, and I don't know, for those of you that might not be familiar with the shelter, within Steuben County, we use that van to transport animals for medical care, but we also have after-hour dog pickup calls. So could be middle of the night, we get a call, there's a stray dog, and somebody has contained it, and we need to go out and pick it up. So I get especially nervous those middle of the night calls that something would happen with the van when they're out.
If you have a flamingo in your backyard,
Plastic or real?
real. We called them, we were sent to the county sheriff's department, and they sent us to the police in Angola. So your service isn't on flamingos.
Okay. We have taken birds, snakes, mice, but we're not really designed for that. So don't spread that.
No.
But we have not quite, but-
Once they tried giving us a horse, they put on the street.
Yeah.
We cannot take horses.
As much as I'd like to help Humane Shelter, we're also having a previous commitment from the county commissioners. I mean, we don't know if that's still in effect and so forth until we get something from them. So I hate to say
I
this.
would take a
I think-
contingent proposal.
I'm just afraid that, if we're going based on the match, then that's one thing. We're just gonna say, here's money. And I still think we need to think a little bit about that.
And I've got another question. I'm not trying to pick on you, Tracy.
No, absolutely.
Is there a reason that you haven't approached the Chrysler dealership or the Chevrolet dealership or the Ford dealership to say, can you make us a deal or can you watch out for us? Have you made a proposal to them so you could come to us with a number?
So we have worked with the Chrysler dealership. They recently found a van that was in the $30,000 range. It was a little bit of a deal on that. But yes, we have reached
Okay.
out to.
All right. But they haven't given you a special number or there's no budget on this, I guess is what I was.
No. No, they've told us the $30,000 to $40,000 range would be what we we could expect. And I'm not looking for anything that's in pristine condition, but I am looking for something that would be safe and would not require maintenance beyond the regular oil changes and tire rotations, at least for a while, because that's where we seem to be having a hard time getting ahead because we're constantly,
Fixing it.
yes.
Does council want to leave it?
Do we have any kind of fund in our current budget?
Well, I think that would be a Ryan question.
That's why I'm looking at Ryan.
I mean, this amount's not, that we're talking about is not a giant, ask. So I think we could probably move funds around within the general fund to move it into grants and subsidies to make a sort of a grant. So
Do you have a number in mind, council?
I still want the commissioner, I still like the commissioners to verify that.
That's how I feel too.
I'm not against this, I just think we need to have some sort of, if to make the most.
You want to see if the council will match all, you got 10 right now?
The commissioners.
Commissioners, so the commissioners, so if we gave them a few thousand or whatever, they would also match that. Is that what you're?
I think we need.
You would like something in writing from them, just.
Well, I just.
Okay.
If I
You
had,
also said that, you also said that was last year.
Right,
And I
right.
said
Yes.
it's different than this year, and there's been.
Different people going to be
Yeah,
on
stuff
the.
going on. So I'm not against it. I'm
no,
just-
absolutely, I appreciate that. We would,
Maybe a letter from the commissioners or something like that.
Just a pledge, something that we could get to.
a tentative amount, because the commissioners are asking us, you need to go out and ask other people, so it's.
That's kind of a
Yeah.
22.
Yeah,
Can I want to clarify something. Now, you said you guys got 10,000, okay? And the county will match whatever you guys get.
last year, the county said they
Right.
would match up to 20,000,
Okay, so
and
20,000. So
Commissioner Shelton has indicated that the same would hold true.
Right.
But we haven't gone before them.
So if we match the 10,000, that'd be 20,000. They'll match up to 20,000, that'd be 40,000.
Mhm.
Okay.
We're good, we're set.
Because I kept on hearing 30.
Yes.
It's between 30 and
Okay,
40, yeah,
okay,
30 and
okay.
40. 40
Make sure
ideal,
that
30 we could work with.
Let's let this.
You want a written response from the
I think
commissioners?
so. And I also think that this is the first time I have heard of the need for a new van for the community shelter. If this goes out in the news,
There just may be,
there may be
Some other help.
some guy who just came for other help tonight, maybe could help us out.
So
You have new friends. Hello.
But this is, I know you have a need relatively fast, but I'm thinking 2 weeks can't hurt.
And you probably need to squeeze Chrysler a little bit because their new minivans are starting at 39,000 plain Jane with air conditioning, AM, FM, radio, so on and so forth. So if you're at 39,000 and they're telling you between 30 and 40 will get you a good used one,
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I'm thinking there's some room to squeeze.
For sure.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
Well, we have put,
Get your money, we'll send Ken down to squeeze them.
okay. We put Alan Stout out. He's the one that's been searching and looking. for that.
Nagging. Right, so we will, we can reach out to the commissioner and let them know to send something over to the Council of Angola. And then would you like to put that in the paper somewhere and give a 2-week frame to see if someone else from the community can give us something?
Paper's not here. They usually watch, I think, on the video later, so hopefully our hint to them is please publish something.
Okay,
Or at least give them a call.
Okay.
Just give them a call and say, hey, we'd like to discuss this with you, and then in 2 weeks,
So are we moving to table it for 2 weeks? Is that?
we have to do
We
it.
just, nothing yet.
So come back in 2 weeks and give you an update.
Did you ever get the industrial washer that?
We actually did, yes. I met with a community member who wishes to remain anonymous. But they came in, looked at our facility, and the next day had it delivered to us.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I was with the person when he did that. I thought that was a fantastic thing to do.
Yes, it was
Very generous.
It was pretty, I got a very excited phone call from the shelter.
I was with him when he made the phone call, said, send these over.
So it was very, very neat. So yeah, that put our biggest need now, the van. So, all right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Reports. Ryan, anything for us this evening?
Nothing for me, man.
Kim?
I have no report.
Yes. Mrs. Hicks? Nothing. All right. Where was Jeff?
No report, sir.
Steve?
No report.
Sue?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
sir.
Mr. Selman? Oh, there he is.
Just what I said in Word Works, also a construction company coming in Monday to start in the southwest section, doing potholing at everybody's service lines to identify the materials. We have 3,400 services in town. We need to know what they all are. And got a nice grant from the IFA, and we're hoping to knock out 375 or so. So anybody that might ask, there'll be a hydro excavator, a Vector working in the trying location, that quadrant, first couple of weeks, and then we'll move around, try to keep everybody aware, public awareness on what's going on. The city contracted this company just to excavate, and they'll move on. My staff will then restore the yards and make everything back to the way it should be. So if you have any questions, feel free to call me. And
Is that what's going on South Wayne Street now, Tom?
no. That's a NIPSCO, I believe, is doing some work down there, but
No, that's North.
South Wayne?
Wastewaters doing
South
something.
Wayne, we're lining some of our manholes.
Okay.
Yes, we had,
North Wayne.
we had Rehabilitation Technologies from Mobic come in,
Right, okay.
and they did complete all the manholes from 20 to Mill Street through the woods. And 3 on the South Wayne that were old brick manholes. They are done now. As of today.
Tom mentioned IFA. Also, we like to grouse about state agencies, but the IFA has been extremely easy to work with and very generous to us lately. So we're very grateful for the IFA. They've been very good to work with. Amanda's been working with them. Tom's been working with them. Just can't say enough good things about it. Matt, you don't have much going on this week, so you might as well just go on vacation.
Week off. Now I'll just second what Mackenzie said. It's not going to rain Thursday. So, and a big thanks to the sponsors, because we've got several generous sponsors that help out on the 4th of July that allow everything to, for the most part, to be free. You can come and enjoy it. And so we hope to see you all out there Thursday.
It's not gonna rain, you just said.
Yep.
Okay, we got on good authority. So Mac's got some shared responsibility now.
How many hot dogs are we talking, Matt?
What's that?
How many hot dogs are we talking?
400.
Ooh, get there early.
They start lining up around 11 and they don't start serving until 12. Amanda, you got anything for us?
No report.
Chief?
No report, sir.
Okay, very good. Request approval of an allowance of accounts payable voucher, 69,355, 69,556, totaling $761,237.34.
Move to approve, pay the bills.
Go ahead and second it.
Motion second, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed? Any other new business? Hearing none, the next council meeting will be Monday, July 15th. Everybody have a safe and fun 4th of July.
I have to be here. I'll tell my wife.